Welcome back, SKC fans, to the SKC 5 Fighter Interview Show. I'm your host, Brandon Halley. I'm here joined by Yared, the kid from Ponce Velazquez. Thank you to our sponsors, Project Pantheon, Shipsco, and Dynamite Kickboxing. Let's get right into it. Yared, go ahead and give yourself an introduction. Where you're fighting out of, your record.
I'm Yared Velazquez, and I'm fighting out of Gracie, Charlottesville, down here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Um, I've been training for about 2 years at Gracie, Charlottesville. I've been in between like grappling and striking because my future goals are MMA. But yeah, Gracie Charlottesville is a majority like where I've been training the most, and actually that's my first gym that I joined up to train. So that's kind of like my home gym to represent.
Respect. I see some of those fancy, cool medals right behind you, and I got some of your
Oh, yeah.
accolades on the questionnaire. So go. You want to go ahead and run some of your big ones down?
Yeah. So yeah, I did this on purpose so you can see all the medals. But when I first started at Gracie Charlottesville, I wrestled for 4 years in high school, Morrow High School, and when I started at Gracie, I was really interested in jiu-jitsu for the aspect. I know I wanted to fight MMA, but I wanted to start with more of like a grappling base. And at Gracie Charlottesville, they offer mostly jiu-jitsu. It's a self-defense academy, and strictly not strictly jiu-jitsu, but mostly jiu-jitsu. Our striking program has grown a lot over the years. But when I first started, it was strictly jiu-jitsu. So I trained for about a year. Wrestling definitely helped me in that process, switching from wrestling to jiu-jitsu. Um, but I always wanted to compete. Competition to me has always been what keeps me going. What makes me work hard on the end of the day. I love competition. I'm a very competitive person. My coaches will say I'm a very competitive person. I agree with them. And so all these medals right here are from mostly jiu-jitsu. Actually, yeah, all of them are jiu-jitsu. I even have a little sword up there that I got from like my second tournament, a Naga tournament. I would say like my biggest accomplishments in jiu-jitsu, I would say, is this winning Nogi Pan American Championships. That was down in Texas. So coming into this tournament, I was unseeded and I wasn't ranked worldwide. I was honestly a nobody coming into this tournament, and I was able to win it. Upsetting a lot of the higher seeds, and coming out of that tournament with number one ranked in that national tournament, and ranking myself number four, number fourth in the world in IBJJF. So I would say that was my biggest accomplishment in jiu-jitsu. I continue to train on it every day. Currently, I'm doing my striking program to prep up for the fight that's coming up. But even though I'll still do like fundamental jiu-jitsu and still try to keep it nice and clean, like in my training. But yeah, that's about it, man. That's all I got for jiu-jitsu. I got different like I can't really say the records because like you have different belts and like white belts and like blue belts and all those belts. Uh, the only record that I have right now that I know on top of my head is my blue belt record, which I'm on blue belt right now. I'm 15-4 as a blue belt. I can't really tell you what I was as a white belt. White belt was like it was all just like learning how to do jujitsu, So I don't really know the record on that. But yeah, that's the gist of it of my grappling career on that.
Yeah, man. I know you did the TBA tournament. For those who don't know what the TBAs are, that's probably like one of the biggest Muay Thai tournaments in the country that they had every single year. I know pretty much like if you win the TBAs, I mean you're ranked in the top, you know, however many percent, but you're definitely up there in the Muay Thai skill. I know you competed in that. Tell me about your experience from the TBAs this year.
So yeah, you're correct. I competed in a TBA tournament. It was called Tournament of Champions down in Ohio. Super cool tournament. I would recommend everyone to do it. It was super fun. But yeah, that was my first Muay Thai tournament I've ever done. Um, it was honestly the training camp leading up to it was really fun. That was my first training camp that I've done. Like strictly just striking. And it was a little bit different, but in a really fun way. The tournament itself went really smoothly, really well. Like, everything that we worked on training camp really worked well in the fights. My first fight, I can't remember where my opponent was from, um, but I was able to get a TKO on my third round for my first fight. I felt really, really good. Conditioning felt really great, and like I said, everything that we worked on in the fight camp really worked well. The second match, I went against a guy from Chicago, Muay Thai, who actually won the tournament, and I went all 3 rounds with him. It was really close, but he was able to get the win by split decision at the end. Super, super tough guy, a little bit taller than me. At the time, I didn't know there was only going to be just a 1 day weigh-in. I thought there was a 2 day weigh-in. So I came in a little bit heavier, and I could have cut a lot more. But I didn't notice until like the tournament and all. So some of these guys are like the second guy was a little bit bigger than me. Like, the first guy was a little bit bigger than me. But now we know, it was like a test, like a trial run, see how it went, but now we know, like me and my coaches and my team knows like what weight class I should be fighting at. But yeah, it went well, man. I got third at that tournament for my
You
first
feel
TV.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, this is just a learning experience. I mean, that's like your first two fights. I mean, that's nothing, man. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's super cool that you had a great time there. How do you feel about fighting at that 128, that catch weight?
I feel honestly, so I did like a test run like for like a cut weight, and I definitely made the weight pretty I don't want to say easily, but like it's not like something that I'm too worried about. Like 128, I walk around 140, 142. And I'm like 5'3", 5'4", so like dropping to that weight correctly, right, with my nutritionist helping me out and my team helping me out, we can definitely make it where it's not as bad, and I feel good. Like that's my fighting weight. Like 128, 125, that those are I'm comfortable there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, that makes sense. And I'm happy to hear that you're working with a nutritionist. I've spoken to about five different people now, and you're the first person to say that they're working with a nutritionist. I work with a nutritionist myself. Shout out to Charleston. Uh, yeah, honestly, working with a nutritionist, I think every fighter needs to be doing that. I mean, you
100%.
lose so much stress. You like, because when you're in fight camp, you're so stressed out. Your body's tired. You're getting
100.
hungry. Stuff like that. So working with a nutritionist, fighters, you can eat a lot more than you think you can. So
Oh
get
yeah.
you a nutritionist, figure out your macros, get you
100.
that fucking money, hire someone good, and then you'll be straight. I promise you. And Yara can attest to that too.
Yeah, I mean, if you care about your long term health, right? If you're serious about just fighting for the long term nutrition, you gotta take care of your body now. Take care of your body now, so your body can take care of you later on in the future. Yeah,
Exactly.
I would say, definitely invest in a nutritionist because it helps. It changes everything. Like it changes everything. And like you're right. Like you can eat a lot more than what you think you can eat. It's not like where I used to cut run back in the day when I was wrestling. I was young and I didn't have a nutritionist, and we would do like the same amount of workload and less calories. And on top of that, not drink water. It's just like you put all that stress in your body, like it's not gonna like last very much, and you're prone to injuries. That's the number one thing I would testify is like you don't have the correct nutrition, you're gonna get injured. Like just a simple run, you can twist your ankle and that's it. Like it's because your body doesn't have enough like nutrition in it to support all everything, ligaments, all that stuff. Like yeah, I'm a big component of nutrition.
Dude, that's awesome that you're such an educated fighter. Thank goodness. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I since I started working with my nutritionist, that's opened up the world to like what all the things that I had been doing wrong previously. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
great to hear you're an educated fighter, man. I want to
Yeah.
get back to I know this is a kickboxing interview, but I do want to get back to your some of your jiu-jitsu accolades. And that's amazing that you were unseated and like for in your own words that you're a nobody, yet you came in, you're slashing these ranked guys. I mean, you're going in as I'm not saying you're an underdog for this fight, but you're used to being in the underdog mentality of like, nobody knows me, doesn't matter. I'm gonna slay no matter what. I respect that a lot. So how do you feel about this matchup with your opponent James Fair? I was fortunate enough to watch his fight Um, he actually fought on the same card as me on SKC 4. I fought, and then he went after me, so I actually got the pleasure of watching him in person. How do you feel about the matchup? Do you know any? Have you watched any film on him? What do you know about your opponent, and how do you feel about the matchup?
Awesome. Yeah. So I was able to watch a few clips on his match. He seems like a very explosive fighter, which those are always really exciting matches. How I feel about the matchup, I feel, as anybody will say, I feel very confident and very calm. I think that's very important. You don't want to get yourself too psyched up, because I would say in my experiences, right, when I get too psyched up and get pumped up for like a for like a fight coming up or a match, and like that emotional part of it drains you. It drains me emotionally. That's why sometimes like in tournaments or stuff like that, I don't look at a lot. Like if I haven't fought yet and I'm like about to fight in an hour or two, I don't look at all these other fights. I had to like focus on myself and just focus on the game plan, because emotionally, like you see these fighters and these fights and you'll get excited, you get riled up, and you're like, it gets like, you get really hyped up, and emotionally that can drain me. I would say for this matchup, um, just very, very simple. I know I keep it very confident and very calm, and I trust in my training and I trust in my coaches. Um, everything that we do is for a purpose. Every drill that we do is for a purpose, and yeah, just very simple. Very, very. I feel good. I feel good. Calm.
How do you feel about the matchup and the rule set? So the TBAs are it's a Muay Thai tournament, so you
Yeah.
have the clinch, the longer clinch, of course the elbows included too, but more specifically the clinch aspect changes a lot of that striking dynamic. With the kickboxing rules, how it's going to go down is that you're allowed to clinch, throw one knee, or you'll hang on to a little bit. The ref will tell you to break, and then you will voluntarily break apart. If you don't, the ref will come in and stop you guys. So there's a bit of a dynamic to the you can clinch and then let go, and then keep striking. You can clinch knee, they tell you to break, and then you can immediately start striking again. How do you feel like that's gonna change some of your striking?
So I sorry, I received the call, but
No worries.
for that rule set, I honestly I do like that rule set a lot. I feel like, and I talked to my coaches about it. I feel like that K1 rule set, definitely I can kind of blend it into my MMA a little bit more better than Muay Thai rule set. In my experiences, so not being able to like clinch for the whole time. I I like clinching because coming from like a background like of grappling, that's just something so natural to me. But like having also to not worry about clinching, it's also like weight lifted off my shoulders too. Now I can just focus on pure striking, and that's what I want to do. That's something that I just want to focus on pure striking. Because if I get in the mindset of grappling or clinching too much, sometimes I forget that it's a striking match, not a grappling match. So having a K1 rule set for me, especially for my future goals and what I want to do in the future, I think it's great, and I'm super excited that I'm doing a K1 like rule set, and yeah.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk about the pacing too. So, like, because there's no clinch, you're a wrestler. Wrestlers, I mean, they're going, 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 man. It's a grind, and of course, no gi. There's no stalling with the gi. You could pass guard a lot faster. The point system's a little bit different. There's more action going on. You think you'll be able to actually keep a really high pace for that entire 2 minutes for 3 rounds?
Yes, yes. That's something that keeping a high pace has never been an issue for me. I everything that I do, and striking, grappling, all my matches are high pace. That's just something that I was built into me during wrestling. That's something that that never goes away. Even when sometimes in drilling or sparring or something like that, my coaches will have to tell me to like lower the pace because I would naturally high pace. I'm always a high pace, competitor. So keeping a high pace for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that's no issue for me.
I want to talk about some of your favorite fighters and how they have been able to influence your styles. What promotions do you like to watch? I assume probably UFC, MMA. Let me know if there's any others, and who are some of your favorite fighters and how have they influenced your style?
So for I'll talk about this one fighter. He didn't really influence the way I fight, but I just like the way his story and his fighting. I just enjoy watching this fighter, and I guess uh he fights in UFC. Brandon Moreno. And yeah, I just love I love the just his whole story. I think it's really motivating. I think everyone knows that one clip where he was talking about that he's not a champion now. He won't be a champion the next day or the next month, but one day that he will be a champion. I think that was very shows commitment and that he was gonna persevere through whatever was gonna come at him in the future, and that's something that's very motivating. I always took that one to heart. Now a fighter that I like for my fighting style, and hopefully that I would like to adapt his fighting style in the near future. He actually fights in ONE FC, and does a lot of Muay Thai. Actually, everyone knows this guy, Rod Tang. The guy, the Iron Man. So I think for him, I like his pressure of fighting. I really really like his pressure of fighting. So everything that when it comes to drilling, training, all that, I think about adapting his more of his skill set and his fighting style, and then trying to apply it to mine. Um, but honestly that's about it. There's a whole bunch of other fighters that that I favor, but if I had to name like some fighters, I would say two fighters. I would say those two fighters are one of my favorites. One
Yeah,
for
man.
one for like motivation, and another one is for like fighting style. So
No, I respect that, dude. I love Brandon Moreno, and of course, that's a viral clip, man. I mean, that is so
100
sick that he said that, manifested it, made it come true.
manifest,
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. That manifestation is like he saw it in his head. Like he saw in his head. It's like that's the thing about fighting. Like you have to see in your head. You have to believe it. Like really believe it. Like it's and that's what I love about it. It's just like that pure confidence, that pure manifestation that you can create. You hear a lot of fighters talk about like manifestation. I really do agree with that. You truly believe in it. And you work at it every single day. I always tell myself, it's always getting 1% better. Every day 1% better. So, yeah.
talk to me about. I know you told me you started wrestling in high school. Talk to me about how wrestling specifically. I never wrestled in high school, but I wish I did. Um, and I watch a lot of collegiate wrestling now. I aspire to be an MMA fighter one day too, so that has a lot of influence on me. So talk to me about a key lesson that you took away from wrestling that has really benefited you in not just like in nogi, but in your post wrestling combat sports career.
Um, I would say right off the bat, it's a mindset. Mindset. It's wrestling is dog eat dog out there. It's a team sport in a way, but a lot of it is you're going out there and you're facing one guy. And you have to have a mindset of that you're the best regardless. If I know that I'm not the number one seed and I'm going as a state champ, I have to believe that I'm better than this guy. There could be, you can show me a piece of paper that all the wins and all these titles that he have, and then there's me who has nothing. I still have to believe that I can beat this guy, that I'm better than this guy. Um and that's something that, like I said, like coming into like Texas, for Nogi Pants, I I was nobody. I was unseated. But I believed I knew that I could beat these guys. That's something that I knew that I can win something like this. I'm able to be up there with those guys. Why not me? That's always in my head. Why not me? I can do it. So I would say mindset. Definitely. There's so many physical things that you would do in wrestling that can carry over, but the mental aspect of wrestling is it's insane. It's insane. And that's something that I will carry on not only to combat sports but to life. Everything that I do is with a mindset. Um,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Respect to that. Respect to that. And yeah, like you said, I mean, that gold medal right behind you just shows it, man. I mean, the fact that you can believe so hard to the point that you're not scared of any of these guys. And like I mentioned earlier, you're not afraid of being an underdog. You can take anybody's name out there, man. And I love hearing that. It makes me even more excited to watch you fight. Um, And let's segue into that. When do you think we can see you in the cage?
This year. I know when I first started training 2 years ago, I was so eager. I wanted to just go off the bat, telling my coach, Coach Kristen is my head coach instructor, and I tell her, like, I want to fight. I want to fight. You know how many times these coaches, they hear that on a daily basis. Somebody comes up and say, I want to fight. You know. So I was like, one of those people. I wanted to fight. But for me, I meant it. I was serious. I wanted to fight, and for she gave me not like a test, but like she's like, okay, you want to fight, then do these things, and one of them was like, wait 1 whole year, get your blue belt, things like that, to get these little small wins and like show discipline and consistency. That's what she wanted to see. So I've been training for 2 years straight. I think I could have maybe fought in the cage maybe a little bit earlier, but but I think that throughout my journey and process, I think what my coaches and my team are doing, I think they're gonna really hone me in. And for my first fight this year, that's the plan that I try to fight this year. I'll say like maybe after the summer, um, we really want to have a very dominant first fight, and I'm very appreciated to my coaches for making me wait and making me train for 2 years. That fire is still within me as that first day when I first came in. I wanted to fight. It's the same now. It's the same now, but definitely more controlled. Because but the more you train, the more you learn. It's just like, wow, like I'm glad I didn't fight a year ago. Because like all this that I keep learning, it's like I keep thinking like, um, well, like I don't know, like for me, like 6 months ago, I'm like, oh wow, like I feel really good. I can definitely fight. But now, 6 months ahead, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't fight back then because like I just learned so much. Now I'm a better fighter now, and I bet you in 6 months from now on, I will say the same thing. But that's the thing with like martial arts and fighting. It's just like you're always progressing. You're always progressing, and it shows, and it definitely shows. It's one of those things that I think that's what people get addicted to training and like just martial arts. It's like you put the work in, it really shows. Like it really shows, and you fall in love with the process. So I would say this year, that's our goal to fight in the cage this year. So I'm super excited. Been training 2 years, um, and yeah.
Yeah, man, let's stay connected, man. I work with another promotion that does they do Muay Thai kickboxing too, but their name is really big on MMA, conflict MMA down in Charleston.
Mm.
We travel between two states, South Carolina and Georgia. I'm happy to connect you with the promoter, and then we can hopefully get you matched up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome. I would love that opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about your fighter name, the kid from Ponce. Talk to me about what that means. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So the kid from Ponce, it's where I was born. I was born in Puerto Rico, and Ponce, Puerto Rico specifically. Hence why I say kid from Ponce. So I don't know how much people know about Ponce or Puerto Rico in general, but Puerto Rico is a small island, and Puerto Rico is known for their boxing. They have really good boxing. They have a lot of professional boxers that have made it like big time. And but something that I want to represent Puerto Rico is in the MMA aspect. We don't have really huge names, or well-known names like for Puerto Rican fighters, specifically in UFC or ONE FC. I want to open that gateway for Puerto Rico. Just showing them that we're not just into boxing. That we have other things that we can do. And also my future like plans or goals, and this is far along, but I would love to open like like MMA gyms over there, like jujitsu gyms over there. They don't have stuff like that over there. They have boxing gyms, but they don't really have. They have like maybe one jujitsu gym throughout the whole island. Like we need to. I personally want to open up, gyms all over so people have access and we can have more Puerto Rican champions. Um, but I represent Ponce, and that's why hence the name Kid from Ponce. I represent that island. I represent my people. So it's not only when I fight, when I compete, I don't compete for myself. I compete for first. I compete for God. but I also compete for my family, my coaches, and my people on my island. Because I know Puerto Rican people are they're amazing. They're if you've yet to go to Puerto Rico, you'll see the culture. Everyone treats you like family, even though they don't know you. They'll treat you like family. That's what I love about them. So
That's awesome, man. And I really respect that you want to give back to the community that you came from. And this is where you and I have the similarity of like, I love this sport. This sport has given me opportunities and confidence that I never had before. Even though sometimes I don't feel like the best fighter, I still feel like a good coach. I still feel like a good teammate, and I don't want to just participate in the sport. I want to help grow it, and which is why I'm doing this. Right when Raul gave me the opportunity to work with you guys and have interviews with you guys and put your names out there, I took that because I want to help you guys grow because that helps me grow myself personally, martial arts career, and also like my personal life. But I can also help to grow. I can also help grow the sport, and I really respect that a lot. So thank you for saying that too. Also my teammate Jairo Santos, he's also a Puerto Rican, so representing Puerto Rico, I respect that a lot too. Let's go into a little bit more fun topic to start wrapping up the interview. I want you to talk to me about your favorite food to eat during your weight cut, your favorite food to eat post weigh in, and then yeah, favorite food to eat during weight cut, favorite food to eat post weigh in.
favorite food to eat during weight cut, I would say either beef or like tuna. Lean meats. And for me, I can eat the same thing over and over. Like as long as I love so much, I love food so much that like if I'm eating it, I'm loving it. Like I can eat chicken the same way multiple times. Beef, the same thing. For me, I would say beef or tuna, like during weight cut specifically. And then post weight cut, it's just like what, like after weigh-ins or like after the fight, like what are we? Because there's
Yeah,
so many.
we can
There's
we can go. Let's go after the fight to refuel. Sorry, after the weigh in to refuel, and then let's go after the fight to celebrate.
Okay. So after I weigh in, most mistakes a lot of people like to do is chug food. I mean, chug water and eat food, and that's when you get bloated and don't feel the best. So, of course, for hydration, there's so many hydration packs. I was gonna use Train Aid, something that UFC fighters like to use, like for hydration. For food wise, I like to start thinking about like maybe some complex carbs, or I like sweet potato. Eating some sweet potato um with some like chicken or something like that right off the. I think after weigh-ins, and it's like a good small portion. It kind of refuels me pretty well. Nothing too crazy. I can try to keep it very simple, and then I would say post fight. Well, post fight, that's something different. Post fight, I'm eating everything. I'm a huge dessert guy. I love dessert. Super into dessert. I can eat dessert like for dinner, like multiple days. I love dessert. So I would say I would get a big chocolate cake, some ice cream, and eat that first. I think that's all I want. Big chocolate cake with ice cream. Everything else I can eat too. I'm not a very picky eater. I can put on like 10 pounds in one sitting. Like I eat so much. But I would expect that from any fighter. After you go like a weight cut, like I think that's like the best part, just to eat afterwards. So
I've only gotten one fighter who says, "No, I don't really like to eat like a bunch of food after I'm done." I said,
oh man, I don't know.
you are way more disciplined than I am."
Like yeah, the moment I have a little shred of like leadway, like I take advantage of it. I take advantage of it. A little shred of really. Hey man, you can eat whatever you want. What do you want? Oh, that's it. Like that was my way in. I'm gonna eat as much as I want until we gotta stop and get back on that discipline. But I say you gotta enjoy life at times. Like having discipline is great. And being disciplined for like you know training for a fight and being very smart in your diet, I think is super important, right? But you gotta have fun afterwards too, as well. You can't be serious all the time, because then if it's not fun, then why are you doing it? If it's miserable, why are you doing it? You gotta have fun with what you do. It's gotta be a fun process throughout the whole thing, pre-fight, post-fight, everything. So
Enjoy the process. That's what they
100.
say, right? Enjoying the process. I respect
Gotta
that
have
for
fun.
sure.
Yeah.
Give me your favorite. Let's keep it striking. What's your favorite striking drill to do, and then also your favorite strength and conditioning exercise?
So striking drills, I really like the Dutch drills that Coach Daniel does. He's my striking coach. He's known as Technical Fury too on Instagram. But for striking drills, I would say like I said, yeah, Dutch drills. I like doing pad work, but I also like doing equipment work. I like doing like hitting the gloves and doing a lot of low kicks, stuff like that. I like drills like that's high pace, but you're not really like killing yourself, It's like it's a little bit more than just a simple like a slow drill and a little bit less than like sparring, something that's in the middle. So yeah, just like Dutch drills, I'm a big component and big fan of Dutch like kickboxing drills. Um and then what was your next question?
The strength and conditioning exercise.
Strength and conditioning. Oh man. Man, there's
I
so
see you
there's so
with the
many.
I see you with the abs, man. So I know you got one. You just gotta tell me.
Yeah, yeah. So we work a lot of core. I'm very lucky to have a great strength and conditioning coach. Because he also trains jujitsu and Muay Thai, so he understands what his athletes needs. And we can't lift like we're training for like a power lifter. We're not doing stuff like that. So he gets creative and incorporates things that are are sports specific into strength and conditioning. Like one of my favorite ones, or like for grappling, I will say, is we use a medicine ball and we'll have like a little band connected to the medicine ball, and we'll do like um I forgot the name. I can't believe I forgot the name. But we'll do like suplexes, with the medicine ball in the band. And then it gets us enough resistance where we have to keep a good base while not, while doing the suplexes and with good form and technique. I would say one of my favorite ones is when we're doing like sprints, like weighted sprints. So they'll attach us to like some weights and you just sprint as fast as you can with the weights. um but yeah, like a lot of the things that we do is like core stuff, a lot of core strength too. So but yeah, very very fortunate to have a good strength and conditioning coach. Shout out to Tyler, shout out to Adapt. So
It seems like you have an amazing team around you, man. Let's start. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Give me your shout outs, man. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
So I'll say first, shout out to Ivy Rehab for sponsoring me this year. They're a great team for like physical therapy. They've helped me get back into the game, into competition as quickly as possible. Like I've had knee injuries, shoulders injuries, things that I would have been like, okay, if I don't do anything, I would have been months off. But I've been back in within weeks. So shout out to them. Shout out to Alex, who's the head, like who head. I forgot his job description, but basically the head person of Ivy Rehab is giving me this opportunity to get to rep him. Shout out to Gracie Charlottesville. That's my gym. Trained there since day one. Shout out to all my coaches there. Shout out to Adapt. Adapt is my strength and conditioning gym. To Tyler's my head trainer. Uh, and then honestly, shout out to all my friends and families too. Without them, I couldn't be up here. Especially family. Mom and dad has helped me a lot. And I really do appreciate and I love them to death. Love them to death. And if they weren't on board with what I do, I don't think I could have gone as far as winning something like that in Texas. That they have to be on board. I need their support, and their support really comes a long way. So, yeah. And also shout out to you guys too as well for just giving me this opportunity to just represent you guys, represent and giving this platform just talk. I really do think that's super cool what you guys are doing. And yeah.
I'm just happy I can be here for the ride too, man. I think you're gonna do big things, so I'm glad I'm able to get to talk to you for the first time. Check out Yared Velazquez, the kid from Ponce, fighting May 11th at the Foundry in Greenville, South Carolina for SKC 5. You do not want to miss this.